You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're after dark, no LA, we the big star. No 4th and inches won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
T-minus 34 seconds. T-minus 26 seconds. 20. 15. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now, Mike's thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today deeply upset and deeply concerned about the direction we are heading when it comes to brain injuries and more specifically CTE. This isn't just an issue for professional athletes, but for every child playing sports, from a high school coach and for every parent who allows their child to take the field. We all know that CTE is real. It is a life-altering condition that stems from repeated head injuries, and we've seen it devastation consequences it can have. Whether it's through the helmets they wear, or the training they undergo, or the research that we so desperately need, we must protect our athletes, our children, and ourselves. CTE is real. It is not going away until we take real action. But here's the thing. Our leaders, those positions of power, are failing us, aka Donald Trump. In a shocking and irresponsible move, Trump's administration's 2026 fiscal budget proposed the elimination of critical funding for CTE and also traumatic brain injury research and education. But what does this mean for us? It means that the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, will lose its agency responsible for the TBI research, including the $8.25 million embarked for research into brain injuries and public education about concussions. This is a significant rollback of the progress that we have made. We are talking about the very agencies and programs that have helped us raise the awareness, helped develop prevention programs like Heads Up, and helped improve care for people suffering from head injuries. The loss of these resources is a step backwards, a dangerous, harmful step backwards. Let's be clear about this, guys. CTE is not a disease confined to the NFL. Not a problem for the elite few on who play on Sundays. It affects children and teenagers playing high school sports in general. It affects all players, kids playing sports. It affects athletes from all across, from soccer to hockey to rugby, and is something that affects us all, whether we're players, coaches, or fans. The idea that we are underfunding the very research that could lead ways to prevent or even cure CTE down the road is irresponsible. And let's talk about long-term effects of CTE. It is just not about a single concussion or a few bumps on the head. It's about the lifetime of reoccurrence of traumatic brain injuries. CTE is a life sentence. No, it is worse than that. It's a life of physical, emotional, and behavioral challenges. It destroys families, it destroys careers, and it destroys lives. We cannot and must not allow this to happen. And to make it worse, the recent moves to cut funding to the TBI research and the programs that educates coaches, athletes, and parents about concussions risk are only going to make the problems worse. How can we expect to protect the future generations when it's dismantling their very tools we can to save them? So I say to you today, we need to fight for more funding, not less. We need more research, not less. We need to invest in protecting our lives for those who have faced head injuries in their career. And we need to demand that those empowered step up and make brain injury research a priority. We must hold our lawmakers accountable. We need the CDC to continue its vital work with concussion prevention programs like Heads Up. And we need to ensure that it is just not about one-off programs or incentives, that there are consistent long-term funding for the TBI research. If we do not take a stand now, we risk rolling back decades of the program. We risk allow more children, more teenagers, and more athletes to face a lifetime of suffering. CTE is real, and we must protect our future, our athletes, and our children at all cost. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? And welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, guys. Your go-to spot for live, raw, uncut NFL talk, guys. I'm so glad you're here with us today. We are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. But before we dive into today's action, let me tell you a little bit about manhourradio.com. That is where you can grab all of your exclusive merch, check out our latest blog section, and stay up to date on everything we're doing right here at Man Hour. If you are repping the Man Hour, that is the place to do it. But hey, do not forget to hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel today is the best way to connect with us and make sure you never miss a live interactive show. But wait, there is even more, says Buck. You can also become a Pigskin Pundit. That is our members-only community where you get free entry into all of our weekly NFL pick'ems, our giveaways, and plus exclusive Man Hour merch. You will also get access to extra live streams like the afternoon drive that only our Pigskin Pundits get. So if you want the full Man Hour experience, become a Skin Pin Pundit today, guys. Hit the membership or subscribe tab down below. And remember, guys, this is a live interactive show, so make sure to comment down below. I want to hear from you. I want to know your thoughts, your opinions, and your hot of the hottest takes. It is all about the conversation. Before we get too carried away, we got to welcome some people in the chat. We see you guys. We see you guys all in the chat. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Get down there, computer screen. Computer screen's all messed up there. But guys, we are breaking down draft grades. We've been going across the old north, south, west, and now we're over in the east. We're going to break down the AFC East today, guys. That's the Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots, Miami Dolphins, and of course the New York Football Jets. And then of course we got the news segment of the day, take and takeaways. And of course we do end every show with a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. But it is time to get into today's show, guys, and we're going to start off with the top, alphabetically speaking, and that is the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills came in the 2025 draft with clear priorities, and they did not waste time addressing him. Let's break down their draft class and what kind of impact these players could have year one and beyond. Now, at pick 30, the Buffalo Bills selected Maxwell Harrison, the corner out of Kentucky. The pick, I love it, not because I'm a Kentucky fan, because Harrison is fast, he is physical, and he is not afraid to mix it up in man coverage. He gives the Buffalo Bills an immediate rotational piece with starting potential. The secondary has needed fresh legs, and Harrison and Harrington's fits that mold. He is smart. He's a clean first pick, and I love it. And then moving on to day 2, at round number 2, they made a move up the board to grab TJ Sanders, the defensive tackle from South Carolina, making those Gamecocks proud. There's an upside here, no doubt about it. TJ Sanders flashes as an interior disruptor, but the consistency just isn't there yet. He is a diamond in the rough, per se. The Bills clearly believe in his long-term project. They better, because they gave up capital to get him. Moving on to round 3, they may have landed a sneaky steal. Landon Jackson, the edge rusher out of Arkansas. He has size and skill set that fits the Buffalo Bills scheme perfectly. He's not going to start right away. Do not get that twisted, but he gives them a solid development piece with the rotational value, good depth, and a lot of good upside in Landon Jackson. And then moving on to day 3, this is where things get a lot of interesting. They traded up yet again, this time to snag Davion Walker, another defensive tackle. Now listen, Walker is a mountain of a man. He will eat up space and cause problems in the run game. But trading up for DT, but trading up for another defensive of tackle after already grabbing Sanders felt like a bit of a reach from a roster building standpoint. But not bad talent-wise, just questionable value. Later on, they did circle back to the secondary, adding Jordan Hancock from The Ohio State and Dorian Strong out of Virginia Tech. Hancock has some versatility, and he can play inside or outside. And Strong is tall, experienced, and fits in as a perfect depth piece for the Buffalo Bills and will be a special teams player. Both are solid late adds. But they're not done yet. Then they got 2 more picks that could end up being sneaky, productive picks. Jackson Hollins, a tight end out of Georgia Tech, that gives the Buffalo a second tight end option in the 12 personnel. He's not going to threaten Dalton Kincaid, but he will make this offense a little bit more flexible. And then in round 7, Caden Prater, wide receiver out of Maryland. Not a burner, but he made some plays downfield and could earn a roster spot as a developmental wide receiver. But how did they do in the draft? How did the grades pan out? Day 1, I give them an A-. That cornerback filled a real need with a great value. I love that pick. Matter of fact, an A- is not pathetic. Give the people an A+. Give them 10 Miss Davises here. They get an A+ on day 1. Day 2, a little bit of potential there, right? I'm giving them a B. They got the potential in Sanders and Jackson, but the trade up for Sanders puts a little pressure on his development. This could easily turn into an A couple years down the road, or it could easily turn into a C, if not a D, if Sanders does not develop properly. And then day 3, I got to give them a B as well. A little bit of mix with depth pieces and long-term and with long-term projects. Nothing flashy, but definitely functional day 3 draft grades. An overall grade, I got to give them a B. This was a draft about toughness, depth and reinforcements on defense, especially up front. The Buffalo Bills did not swing for the fences, but they did load up on guys who can make the roster stronger in the trenches and more balanced on the back end. Now, it's all up to the coaching staff to develop this raw talent. Can they do it? That is a question. So, guys, in the comments below, can they develop the raw talent? What grade do you give the Buffalo Bills? And are the Buffalo Bills still the top dogs in the AFC after this draft? But guys, before we get too carried away, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and remember that we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour, and of course at facebook.com/manhour as well. This is a live interactive show, so comment down below and let's get into the comments and let's discuss your thoughts. Now, normally, I would bring my man Hoffy on the screen. Up there is talking about Jesus and stuff, because Hoffy is the man, the myth, the legend. He would say, you know what, Buck? Oh, man, River says the Buffalo Bills get a B- just because he wants to be different than you. And I'd be like, oh, man, River, you're silly, but since you're a pigskin pundit,
Get you some.
I will let it slide. But guys, if you are a pigskin pundit, you know we are going through a little bit of a transition right here at Man Hour NFL Talk. So this is a pre-recorded show, but we're still live, raw, uncut, because I don't edit anything out, baby. But let's move on. Let's move on to the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins walked into the 2025 NFL Draft with very limited picks, but walked out with a class that just might be one of the sneakiest in the league. Let's talk about what they pulled off over the 3 days and how it sets them up for the future. So day one, in round one, Miami Dolphins took Kenneth Grant, the dominant defensive tackle out of Michigan. Now listen, Grant is a straight-up load to deal with in the trenches. He moves incredibly well for his size, and he's going to clog running lanes from day one. He is a day one starter for the Miami Dolphins, I do believe. That said, the debate here is about the value. The Dolphins passed on Derek Hammond and Walter Nolan, both from whom many believe had higher upside. So while Grant fits the need, this one doesn't feel like a home run. It felt solid. Now, however, if Kenneth Grant can live up to those expectations, can mold into an amazing player, this could easily be the steal of the draft. Moving on to round number 2. Miami Dolphins made a move to get their guy, trading up for Jonah, the guard out of Arizona State. Guys, I'm terrible with names. I even had the pronunciation. I'm still going to F it up. But this dude's a brawler. I went back then watching because I am a Big 12 guy. I like my Kansas State University, right? I got the K-State hat on right there, baby. But I went back and watched this guy play. Guys, he is a brawler. He's a powerful base. He's a great anchor, and he's going to compete immediately for that right guard spot vacated by Robert Jones. Yes, they gave up some mid-round picks to do it, but if Jonah locks down that interior for the next 5 years, nobody is going to question this move. I love this pick, and I think they nailed it. Now, here's where it gets fun. Day 3, the Miami Dolphins guys absolutely cleaned up on the back half of the draft. First, they stacked two more defensive tackles, Jordan Phillips out of Maryland and Zeke Briggers out of Georgia Tech, I should say. Both are big body run stuffers. It's clear Miami wants to get tougher up front, and they made that theme throughout this draft. I love the toughness and I love the eagerness that the Miami Dolphins wanted to bring in 2025. And then at the corner, they snagged Jason Marshall Jr., a guy who was once projected as a day 2 pick. Got him in day 3. His cover skills are legit, and if he develops properly, Miami might have just found a future starter in the 5th round. Now, they weren't done adding physicality quite yet. Dante Trader Jr. from Maryland is a downhill safety who loves contact. Go out there and watch his film, guys. He blows people up. He is going to fly around the field, and he is going to pop you in their mouth and then ask your mama out for a date. He could find his way on the field early in sub packages and definitely a special teams player. And then it came the 2 most intriguing late-round picks of the entire draft. Ollie Gordon II, the running back out of Oklahoma State University. Guys, this guy is a workhorse. He adds a physical punch to the backfield that's been speed-oriented for many, many years. Miami needed a thumper, and guess what? They got one. Ollie Gordon, the second guy, he is going to be a great 1-2 punch back there in the backfield in Miami. And yes, they did draft Ken Ewers, the quarterback out of Texas. He slid all the way down to the second round, and now he walked into a situation where the Dolphins' backup quarterback has always seemed to get reps. This is a no-pressure, high-upside flyer. If he develops, great. If not, no harm done. That was an excellent value in the 7th round, so let's talk grades. Now, day one, I'm going to be a little bit harsh, as I do love Grant. I think Grant is solid, but was he the best value on the board? That is going to be very debatable, and it could be debatable for the next couple seasons, but I got to give them a B- right off the bat. And then day two, I got to give them an A-. Their first overall pick in day two is a very aggressive, but he's smart. They filled a major league and they got a starter. But then day three is where they nailed it. They hit it out of the park. They get an A+ on day three. This is where Chris Grier and the front office did their best work. They added depth, they added value, and a long-term upside all over the place. High risk to very, very little reward. I really, really like that in day three. So the final grade for the Miami Dolphins is we got to roll down Miss Davis. We got to say, come here, Miss Davis. I give you a 10. Guys, the Miami Dolphins get a Miss Davis A in the final draft grade. This draft was about physicality. It was about depth. It was about smart investment and future flexibility. They hit the trenches hard, loaded up on defense of talent, and took calculated late swings. It wasn't flashy, but it was football smarts. In this class, if this class develops the way it is set up to be, Miami may have just built the foundation for long-term sustainability. But don't just take my word for it, guys. What do you guys think? In the comments below, did the Miami Dolphins earn their A in this year's draft? Did they hit this draft out of the park? Or are they still kind of like, they did well, but it's still the Miami Dolphins are still a last place team in the AFC East. I want to let you guys know. But before to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this with a couple of friends. And guys, we do remember that we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here at youtube.com and forcetastebud.com. And we are a live interactive show. So make sure you hit the comments down below and let's talk about it. Now, this is where we cue Hoffy in.
Pigskin pun.
He would be reading the comments, and Hoffy would be like, you know what? Yeah, stupid. But this is a pre-recorded show today. Spoiler alert. But hey, it is what it is. Pretty soon we will be back live, raw, uncut at 9 p.m. East Coast time. But until again, guys, enjoy the pre-recorded shows. With that being said, let me get a wet my whistle a little bit. I got my W Energy, guys. Actually, this is the W Hydro. This is the watermelon lemon flavor. Absolutely love it. 2 scoops of that, a glass full of water. Amazing. Just like a Gatorade, but without all the extra sugars and crap like that. If you guys want to pick you guys self up some W, head over to w.gg. Use promo code MANHOUR. Save yourself some bills, y'all. But with that being said, let's get back into the draft and let's get in talking about the one and only the New England Patriots. And what could have been the first real turning point in the Mike Vrabel Elliott Wolf era in New England. Guys, the Patriots came to the 2025 NFL draft with the clear mission: build around Drake May and get faster, tougher, and smarter across the board. So how they do, let's break it down. Now, at number 4 overall pick, the Patriots went with Will Campbell, the offensive tackle out of LSU. Look, Will Campbell is going to be a solid starter in this league. He's got great footwork, got strong hands, and he plays with an edge. And when you're picking up at top 5, you usually want a cornerstone, and passing on a top tier talents like Ashton Gentry or Mason Graham makes me feel like a little safe, but bad, just safe, right? So I am not in love with this Will Campbell pick, but it's safe pick, right? New England Patriots went safe in this draft. With that said, day 2 is finally where New England Patriots made their mark. The opening round, they opened up the second round by grabbing Travion Hendrickson, the explosive running back out of Ohio State. This guy is a weapon. He can run inside, he can run outside, he can bounce it outside, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. he immediately adds electricity to this offense. Then in round 3, they doubled down on offensive help for Drake May. Kyle Williams, a wide receiver out of Washington State, gives them the versatile target with strong hands and solid yards after catch ability. And then they landed Jared Wilson, the center out of Georgia, to anchor that offensive line. That's a trio of picks that dramatically improves the infrastructure around your young quarterback. And day 2 and round 2 and round 3, guys, was an A+, no doubt about it. They hit day 2 out of the park. Now, day 3 is where things got a little bit more Belichickian, right? A little bit more like a Bill Belichick type of draft. They addressed the defense with Craig Woodson, a smart, athletic safety who's going to challenge for playing time early. Then they beefed up the interior with Joshua Farmer, a powerful defensive tackle who plays with leverage and burst. At edge, they took a flyer on Brandon Swinson, lean, athletic, and someone who fits the mold of a developmental rotational piece. And then we got the classy Patriots day 3 twist. A kicker, a long snapper, and a late round tackle. Andres has a leg to stick around in and the NFL for a very, very long time. Julian Ashby, a long snapper from Vandy. Look, if he sticks for a decade, nobody's going to blink an eye. And then adding Marcus Bryant, the tackle out of Missouri, is raw, but he definitely has some tools. He's a little diamond in the rough, per se. Then they close it out with Kobe Minor, a cornerback out of Memphis. Late flyer, athletic traits worth a swing. So how did the Patriots fare overall? In day 1, I got to give them a B-. I think Will Campbell is a good player, but not a great value at number 4. He could have slid down to number 10, 12, 15, hell, even 20, but they took him at number 4. But it is what it is. Day number 2, they get an A+. They surrounded Drake May with weapons and protection. Mission accomplished. Day 3, a solid B. Balanced depth with some Belichick-style roster shaping. Nothing flashy, but fundamentally sound. Imagine that. Mike Vrabel acting like Bill Belichick. But the final grade, I got to give them an A-. This draft this was a draft that prioritized protecting the quarterback, and that's exactly what the New England Patriots needed to do. They added athletes, they addressed the needs, and they came away with a better offense and a deeper defense. For a team in transition, this draft felt like a step in the right direction, and maybe, just maybe, the first, actually probably the second building block toward the Patriots becoming a competitive team again, because they have simply nailed this off season. But guys, in the comments below, what do you give the New England Patriots draft day grade? Is it an A? Is it a B? Or are you going to be a little bit harsh and give them a little overall C? Guys, honestly, personally, I think everybody in this year's draft hit their needs, and everybody's getting a B or higher, to be flat out honest. If you are giving them a C or lower, you are just a pure hater. But be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and remember that we are live Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour. This is a live interactive show, so let's get into the comments and let's discuss your thoughts. Spoiler alert, we are not live right now, but we are in the chat. We are talking shit. The man behind the talking of the shit right now is my man Hoffy. So guys, starting next week, May 12th, we'll be bringing Hoffy on to read the top comments, and I will be addressing those comments just to get a little bit of flow back going. But we'll be back live, raw, uncut at 9 p.m. at next Monday, potentially. But you guys know the drill. Become a Pigskin Pundit. You get all the inside knowledge that is going on. But let's talk about the New York Jets and what they did in the 2025 NFL Draft. Because while the attention has been on Justin Fields and that quarterback room, the Jets went to work building around him and reinforcing a defense that is still the backbone of the New York Football Jets. And what they do, starting at round number 1 with pick number 7, the Jets went with Ahmad Mebu, the offensive tackle out of Missouri. Now, this pick raised a few eyebrows because the Jets passed on top tight ends in the draft and even more polished linemen. Mambo is raw, but the man is powerful. Go back and watch the tape. He is a tone setter in the running game, and he plays pissed off. He has a mean streak in him, and if the Jets develop him right, he could be a long-term fixture on that offensive line. That being said, he's not quite plug and play quite yet. Solid pick, yes, but not a slam dunk. But then you look at day 2, and this is where the front office went to work. They grabbed Mason Taylor in round 2, the tight end out of LSU. That's your athletic receiving threat. Big catch radius, smooth routes, and he's got field awareness to settle into soft zones. He's going to give Fields a much-needed safety valve. And then in round 3, they went defense. They went Thomas at the corner out of Florida State. Now, this one could be a steal, guys. Thomas has length, physical, and he has instincts. You cannot teach that stuff. The only knock on him is his long speed. But in this scheme, with the pass rush helping him out, he could thrive. Day 2 gets an easy A. It's a smart, balanced, and met the real needs. Now, moving on to day 3. This is where the Jets took some high swings. They took a lot of flyers on said players. They kicked it off by snagging Adrian Smith, the wideout out of Georgia. Look, this guy is fast. He can run really, really well. And if he can learn to track the ball better and focus through the catch, he becomes a real deep threat. Then they drafted Mekaliah Moore, the safety out of Alabama. Experienced, smart, and ready to contribute immediately. You want football IQ on the back end? Moore is your guy. Watch this tape. He knows how to watch film, and he is very, very smart. And then round number 5, they stayed defensive heavy with Francisco Mangino, a rangy linebacker from Miami who's active, physical, and has a motor that just doesn't quit. And then they traded up to get Tyler Barton, an edge rusher out of Miami as well. That was a slick move. He's got size, he's got burst, and they'll rotate him situationally. He can create real problems for opposing tackles. Here's the one thing they didn't do. They didn't draft a quarterback. That is a statement. They're riding with Justin Fields, no questions asked. So let's grade this draft. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. But in day 1, I got to give them a B+. Mambu has upside, but he's going to need some polishing. Still, protecting Fields has to be a priority, and they address that priority. Excuse me. Now, in day 2, they get an A. They drafted Taylor and Thomas. Both have potential to be starters early and elevate on both sides of the ball. In day 3, excuse me, they get a B as well. They have high upside athletes and quality depth. Nothing flashy, but it could pay off big if a few of these guys hit. So these easily could be an A+ draft if these guys do hit. But the final grade for the New York Football Jets, in my opinion, is an A-. The Jets walked out of this draft better on both lines. Faster on offense and deeper on defense. No quarterback. Let me repeat, no quarterback. That tells you all you need to know. They're putting their trust into Justin Fields, and now it's up to him to prove them right. So what do you guys think? Do the Jets deserve an A-? Are they all in on Justin Fields? Did the Jets improve and potentially become a playoff team by this year's draft? Let me know. Let me know. But be sure to hit the subscribe button, guys. Hit that like button as well. And remember, we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Now, let's get into your comments and discuss your thoughts. This is where Hafi would come in, guys, and he'd be up there. Buck, I love you so much. But guess what, Hafi? We love you too, brother. But guys, it is time to introduce a new segment. Every Thursday, we're going to be doing a segment called Takes and Takeaways. Here's how it works, guys. I'm about to throw out some bold, fiery predictions and hot takes that might get you talking. But I'm just not dropping these takes without any solid reasoning. After each hot take, I'll follow up with the key takeaway, the real deal, and the perspective you need to understand why this is a bold prediction and could be a game changer. Now, let's get into takes and takeaways, and we're going to start off right off the bat. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so on Tuesday, we saw one of the biggest trades that kind of shocked me, right? George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys. And when I first saw it, I'm like, wait, because my man, old man River, pigskin punted himself, was like, Buck, is this real? Like, dude, I don't know. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. Let me jump on the old X machine and check it out. So over there at x.com, so you can find me on X at manhour_Buck. But yes, it was true. George Pickens and the Dallas Cowboys were finalizing trades. But guys, the take and the takeaways of this is George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys makes them an instant NFC East favorites. All right, guys, let's get into it. The Dallas Cowboys just made a big move, adding George Pickens to the roster in a trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This move could put the Cowboys at the top of the NFC East in 2025/2026. George Pickens to the Cowboys makes them an instant NFC East favorite, and here is why. First up, let's talk about the trade itself. The Dallas Cowboys are sending a 2026 third-round pick, 27 fifth-round pick, and a 27 sixth-round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for George Pickens. That's a pretty solid haul for a receiver who is entering the final year of his rookie contract. But here's where things get interesting. Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager, have been hinting at making substantial moves before or after the draft. It looks like this trade is exactly what he had in mind. You guys know it. I was all calling BS, but you know what? I'm here eating crow. Jerry Jones, good work of getting George Pickens in there. Now, the Dallas Cowboys were already in need of a number 2 wide receiver alongside CeeDee Lamb. And we've hinted at Amari Cooper, potentially Keenan Allen, but obviously now we know it's George Pickens. And while they didn't grab a receiver in this year's draft, they finally filled that hole by trading for George Pickens, who instantly boosts their passing game. Pickens had a solid 2024 with 59 catches with 900 yards, actually 899 yards, right? And 3 touchdowns. Sure, he did miss 3 games due to a hamstring injury, but when he is on the field, he was a threat. And now imagine having CeeDee Lamb on the other side of George Pickens. That's a dangerous combination for any defense in the NFC. If you guys want to flashback just a little bit, I potentially threw out the idea that DK Metcalf and George Pickens might be the best 1-2 duo in a wide receiver duo in the NFL. Now we got to have the conversation. Is CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens the best wide receiver duo in the NFL? But right now we got to slow it down, baby. The Steelers, though, have gone in a different direction. They traded for DK Metcalf in March, which pushed Pickens further down the pecking order. And that to the fact that the Steelers are still waiting on a decision from Aaron Rodgers about his 2025 status, and it's become clear Pickens was expendable. Now, for the Cowboys, though it is a home run for them, the Cowboys have their best wide receiver duo since Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb in 2020 and 2021. With Dak Prescott back at full strength after missing the final 9 games of last season, the Dallas Cowboys offense is poised to make that next step. It's also important to note that George Pickens is coming into a team that is all about competition and winning now. If the Cowboys acknowledge their need for a number 2 receiver this offseason, they have struck when the opportunity was right. And the best part, they didn't need to give up too much to get him. Now, there are a complete caveats here. George Pickens' on-field behavior has raised some eyebrows in Pittsburgh. He was involved in a couple of incidents, including getting flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct in a win versus the Bengals. The Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin has made it clear that George Pickens needs to grow up and mature on and off the field. But if he can keep it together, he is a key access to the Dallas Cowboys offense. And don't forget that the Dallas Cowboys have already had some recent success with the receiving corps, with Jalen Tolbert stepping up last season and Jonathan Mingo added to the mix, but Pickens is the piece that can make them truly dangerous. So with Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and now George Pickens, guys, the Dallas Cowboys are making a very, very strong case to be the favorites in the NFC East in 2025. But I want to know what you guys think. Are the Cowboys now the team to beat in the NFC East? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get into it. Before we get too carried away, guys, hit that like button and share this with a couple friends as well. I want to know your thoughts. But next way on the takes and takeaways, the Steelers With the trade of George Pickens, the Steelers will now have their first losing season with Mike Tomlin as a head coach. That is my bold take, guys, and this is the takeaway. But as you guys know, let's flip the script a little bit. While the Dallas Cowboys are looking stronger than ever, it's not all sunshines and rainbows for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The recent trade of George Pickens is another sign things are not going in the right direction, and I'm going to say it. The Steelers will have their first losing season with Mike Tomlin as a head coach this season, and here is why. First off, the George Pickens department is just the latest sign that Pittsburgh Steelers is heading in a new direction. Despite being a second-round pick in 2022, Pickens has found himself playing second fiddle to DK Metcalf, who the Steelers brought in this offseason. And while the Pittsburgh was trying to rework his contract, they ultimately decided to let him go, sending him to Dallas for a package of picks. This isn't just a simple roster move, guys. It's a signal of deeper issues in Pittsburgh, where the team is struggling to keep up with the rest of the league. Let's just be honest about that. But here is the only problem. Aaron Rodgers' future in Pittsburgh is still uncertain. And with the Steelers deciding to move on from Pickens, Rodgers might now even be less inclined to make Pittsburgh Steelers his home. If you're a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, you want weapons on offense. The Steelers are losing one of the best young receivers, and that doesn't exactly inspire confidence. Personally, Mike Tomlin, the head coach who has been synonymous with consistency in Pittsburgh, has never had a losing season. That's an incredible record, but it feels like the tide is turning. The Steelers have missed out on major opportunity to improve their roster, and losing Pickens is the latest in series of moves that is weakening the team. Throw in the uncertainty surrounding Aaron Rodgers, and it's hard to see how this team can remain competitive in a loaded AFC North. Guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, once thought to be the future powerhouse with Pickens, has been gutted of talent. And the team's defense can only do so much. Even with the addition of DK Metcalf, it feels like this team is lacking depth and cohesivity. They need to compete in a highly competitive division. So here is where I stand. The Steelers are heading for the first losing season with Mike Tomlin as a head coach. It is tough to say, but at this point, with so much uncertainty around their offense and trading for Pickens, it feels like a turning point. Pittsburgh could be entering a rebuild mode, whether they want to admit it or not. But what do you guys think? Are the Steelers truly headed for their first losing season under Mike Tomlin, or can they find a way to prove us wrong? Let's hear your thoughts, guys, in the comments below, and let's get into it. But let's move on. Let's talk about what makes a defense something special. The New York Giants guys are stacking up big time, and they are going to be a problem in 2025. Guys, my bold statement of the day is the Giants will be a top 10 defense in 2025. That's right. Clean out your ears. You heard it right. The Giants will be a top 10 defense in 2025. First off, let's start with Kayvon Thibodeau. This guy is a beast. After having his fifth-year option exercise, Thibodeau is locked through the 2026 season for nearly $15 million. That's a statement move by the Giants. And the energy he brings into his fourth season, it is contagious. He's fired up, and that energy is going to fuel the defensive line and the rest of the defense. But wait, there's even more. Did you forget that they just drafted Abdul Carter as well? He is now in the mix. Thibodeau is not concerned about playing the same position as Carter. In fact, he is excited. The Giants added Abdul Carter, the top draft pick, to an already dangerous edge rusher duo with Thibodeau and Pro Bowler Brian Burns. Carter's versatility, being able to rush from different spots, adds a ton of flexibility to this already stacked linebacking core. Let's break this down. You have Thibodeau, you have Burns, and now you have Carter, all on the field together, each capable of rushing inside, coming from depth, and being game changers in different roles. That's just not talent, that's chemistry. This trio is going to make quarterbacks' lives miserable in 2025. And the best part? Thibodeau just isn't about sacks. He's about making differences off the field, too. He has been honored as a hometown hero for his work with the JREAM Foundation, doing big things for his community. That leadership, that community spirit is what's going to shine on the field as well. The Giants have a defensive leader who's a game changer on and off the field. We cannot forget the depth the defense has as well. Chauncey Goldstein was added via free agency for extra power on that defensive front. The Giants are stacked at playmakers, and the defense is going to get stronger with all these pieces in place. This team, it looks like a top 10 defense, mark my words. A defensive force to be reckoned with in 2025. But I want to know your guys' comments. Will the Giants finish as a top 10 defense in 2025? Let me know your comments down below. This is a live interactive show, guys, so comment down below and be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and remember, we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. But it is time to get into our final segment of the day. Where's it at? All right, folks, so as we are winding down the show, we're not quite done yet. It's time for our final segment, Fact or Crap. Here's the deal. I'm going to throw out some statements, some facts that have been floating around the NFL world, and it's up for us to decide if it's a solid fact or if it's a bunch of crap. We are going to separate the truth from the nonsense, cut through the hype, and see what's really worth believing. If it's legit, we're all about it. If it's pure garbage, we're calling it out. So guys, grab your popcorn because it's about to get real, baby! Is it a fact or if it's a whole lot of crap? Let's find out. Let's find out. And let's start off right at the top. Let me set the stage here for you guys. The Baltimore Ravens have made a huge decision by releasing Justin Tucker, the most accurate kicker in NFL history, amid some serious allegations of sexual misconduct. And folks, this is a massive shock. We're talking about a player who has been a cornerstone of the Ravens for over a decade, the longest 10-year player on the roster, and the last run from the 2012 Super Bowl championship squad. The guy is a legend with 7 Pro Bowls and a record for the longest field goal in NFL history, even though he did kick it when the time expired. But hey, Detroit Lions fans, who's counting that, right? And he is the Ravens' all-time leading scorer. So why did they let him go? But guys, the question that I have for today, fact or crap, has Justin Tucker played his last snap in the NFL? Well, guys, the Ravens' decision comes as Tucker is being investigated by the NFL for misconduct allegations for 16 massage therapists spanning from 2012 to 2016. Tucker has denied these allegations, calling them unequivocally false, but the Ravens weren't willing to wait for the investigation to be completed. And just 2 months after they drafted a kicker, Tyler Loop, in the 6th round, marking the first time the Ravens in history selected a kicker, it's become clear that Tucker's future in Baltimore was in jeopardy. This move also frees up $4.2 million in cap space for the Ravens, giving them a new face at the kicker position. The Ravens guys are officially moving on from Tucker, the man who made so many iconic moments for this team over the years. But the big question remains, is this the end for Justin Tucker? Guys, fact or crap, has Justin Tucker played his last snap in the NFL? But here's the deal. Tucker is 35 years old. And despite what happened last season, where he had his worst year yet, he missed 10 kicks. He still got the resume to back up a potential second act somewhere else. We're talking about one of the best kickers to ever do it, and a kicker who has still more powerful leg and a ton of experience. He could very well land with another team who's looking for stability in that position. So let's break this down. The NFL's personal conduct policy will define play a role here. With the allegation over his head, and a team interested in Tucker would have to be willing to take that risk. But based on his history and skill, I'm not counting him just yet. So guys, fact or crap? I'm going to have to say crap. It's hard to believe that we have seen the last of Justin Tucker. A guy like that just doesn't disappear from the league, especially when he still has gas in the tank. The NFL is a business at the end of the day, and you can bet there's a team out there that is willing to take a chance on one of the greatest kickers of all time, allegations or not. The only question is when, not if, he'll find a new home. But what do you guys think? Will Tucker kick again in the NFL, or has the curtain closed on his legendary career? Guys, drop your comments down below and let's talk about it. But hey, guys, if you are enjoying this live show, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and remember, we are live Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Also, become a Pigskin Pundit. Hit the membership tab down below, or subscribe if you're over here on Facebook. But let's get into the comments and discuss your thoughts at the end of the day. Now, we're diving deep into the headlines here, guys, and you guys know the drill. Take it or leave it, fact or crap, we'll break it down, and today we got a real interesting one on deck. Are you ready for this? Let's get into it. Shedeur Sanders. Here it is, folks. Wearing number 12 will not change the way people look at you. Fact or crap? Now, this one's got a lot of layers, so let's unpack it. So, as many of you know, Shedeur Sanders, the Browns rookie quarterback, is rocking the new number 12. He has been wearing number 2 his whole life, from high school to college, you name it. But now he heads into the NFL and has to switch things up. Why? Because DeAndre Carter, the wide receiver the Browns signed, scooped up number 2 for himself. So Shedeur is stepping into that legendary number 12 role, as famously worn none other by Tom Brady. And here's the thing. Brady wore the number, right? 7 Super Bowl titles, the greatest to ever do it. Now Shedeur, who has been mentored by Tom Brady, is stepping into that number as a rookie. But does wearing number 12 really make a difference? Does it change the way people look at you on the field, or is it just a number? Now, I'm saying here's one crap, and here's why. First off, no jersey number suddenly makes you play better. If you think putting on the number that Brady wore magically is going to elevate your game, think again, Shedeur Sanders. It's all about what you do on the field, not the number on your back or your front. Shedeur Sanders is stepping into the spotlight on his own merits, his skills, his leadership, his work ethic. That's what people are going to focus on. Let's not forget, number 12 has some serious weight to it. You've got Tom Brady, sure, but you also have other legends like Joe Namath, Aaron Rodgers, who also wore number 12. So while the history of the number might carry some weight, it's really up to Shedeur to carve out his own legacy. The hype around him being mentored by Brady, that's real. But guess what? The pressure on him to perform is even more real. So at the end of the day, Shedeur's success will come down to his own actions. The jersey number won't change how the media looks at him. His jersey number won't change how we talk about him. The jersey number will not change how the fans talk about him behind his back. Or guess what? It won't even change how your teammates trust you. The only thing that will do is what he does on the field, period. So no, wearing number 12 is not going to change the way people look at Shedeur Sanders. So there you have it, folks. That's crap. The number on your back doesn't change who you are, how you play, or how people perceive you. It's all about what's between your ears and how you perform when the lights are on. But guys, what do you think? Let me know your thoughts. Drop your comments down below. Do you think wearing number 12 will change things for Shedeur Sanders, or just another jersey number? Don't forget, guys, that we're live Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here on YouTube. And, of course, to make sure they hit that like button, subscribe button to join the conversation. But it is time. 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 It is time for...
And now, Mike's thoughts.
All right, guys, so as we wrap things up for today, let's take a moment to reflect on everything that we've covered. It's been a wild ride, but before we close it out, I want you to leave with you my final thoughts for the day. Before we sign off tonight, I want you to leave with something real. In a world that seems to thrive on division, criticism, and conflict, it's easy to get that one simple truth. We are all human at the end of the day. We all laugh, we all cry, we all fall, and we all rise. And more than ever, we need each other. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you believe, or how different you may seem. Every person you meet is carrying their own story, their own battles, and their own dreams. So lead with kindness, choose empathy above all love. Love louder than hate, love stronger than fear, love in a way that inspires others to do the same. Because we show love not just in our words, but in our actions. That's when the real change begins. So let's be those people. Those who lift up others, the ones who could choose compassion over judgment, the ones who make this world a little bit brighter one moment at a time. Guys, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for being part of being the Man Hour community. Hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. Remember, guys, we'll be back next time, 9 p.m. East Coast time. Is a live interactive show. So comment down below. Your voice matters. Let's get into the comments and adjust your thoughts tomorrow. But right now, guys, we are out. Have a great night.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man Hour NFL talk. I know that you're ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut, raw. This is Man Hour NFL talk. Let's go.